Hello, North Country soccer fans. Welcome to the George Brendler Field. We are the second day of November. It's voting day here in the good old USA, and in Chazy, New York, we have playoff soccer action for girls. It's the #1 ranked team in the state, the Chazy Eagles, playing one of their key opponents in the MVAC, the Willsboro Warriors. Chazy has had their way with Willsboro twice this year, but as we know, it's tough to beat a team 3 times in 1 year. And Willsboro comes into the George Brendler Field probably feeling they have nothing to lose. They look like they were loose out there and ready for this game, and whatever happens, happens. But it's definitely a cool night here. It's a clear night. It's very cool here on the 2nd of November, and I think Tom Messner, Calvin, said that it was about an average 10 degrees cooler than normal.
Yes, and so did Gary Sadowski.
Gary Sadowski said the same thing. Okay, so if 2 of them said it, it must be true. And we are definitely bundled up here in the broadcast booth here in Chazy. We are bundled up very well, much different than we were in late August, early September. And here's an opportunity. And there's a nice shot, and there's a nice save by the goalie for the Courtney Blanchard of Willsboro. So we have a corner kick here for Chazy. We're early here in the first half. This is the second season, as we like to call it. We are in the semifinal action. If Chazy wins this game today, they move on Saturday, this coming Saturday, which would be the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, the 6th of November at the Plattsburgh High School complex for the championship game. And on the other end, there is Elizabethtown playing, and I'm not sure who they're playing against tonight, but that game has probably already been decided. They played earlier today.
I thought whoever it was playing at 3.
Was it 3? Okay. So that game has already been decided. And if I can get Coach attention down there, I'll see if she's heard any scores or what the final outcome was. And it's Lapeer trying to fight her way, and she gets it nailed. And looks like Lapeer's hurt a little bit on her hip. And I will check here with Coach Trombley.
Coach right now.
Yeah, probably with this kick coming up, yeah. This is an opportunity here that you hate to see go by the wayside. So it looks like Megan Reynolds will take this kick here. I think she'll try to go into the upper slot of the net here. And no, it's a set play. She was trying to find Kempinen, and the ball was headed by Lapeer into the hands of Blanchard. And Blanchard will take the punt from the 18. Coach Trombley, have you heard the earlier game today, Sport? You haven't heard anything? Just checked with Coach Trombley. She has not heard of the earlier game today, so that will remain a mystery, at least throughout this telecast. Unless we hear something different, we'll let you know, the viewer. And there's 37 minutes or 3 minutes into the first half. The ball has been into Willsboro territory. The midfield's been controlled by the Eagles. It's Gay with the ball. That's number 14, Chelsea Gay. And she goes to the far sideline trying to find Emily Lapeer, and it goes off the defense of Willsboro, and Lapeer takes the throw in. She goes into the corner, and the ball sent over to the middle, and it is Lapeer with the ball, pushes it back. And now coming up is Gay. Gay has it cleared away from her. At midfield is Megan Reynolds. And Megan Reynolds is a sweeper for the girls, and her brother Nathan is a sweeper for the boys, who are the defending state champions. And the ball is pushed up to number 16, Alexis Bushy. Bushy is one of the captains for Chazy. And there's a nice shot by Caitlin Lapeer, and it curves in toward the net, but it's Courtney Blanchard with the save here for the Warriors. Nice punt by Blanchard, and the ball is headed by Doran over to the near side. It's Kinnan Latchmore, the 8th grader, pushes it up over to Alexis Bushy. She one-times it over to Kempinen. Kempinen's being challenged by number 8. That would have been Bruno, but she gets the ball up over to Chelsea Gay. Chelsea Gay just outside the 18, trying to go far sideline. Has it knocked away, and it's picked up by Kempinen. Kempinen is the MVP of the MVAC this year, and that's no surprise if you follow Chazy soccer and follow the career of Ostri Kempinen. She is the field general in the midfield for Chazy and has been for the last 4 or 5 years. And Gay trying to get a shot off, and that goes off the Willsboro defense. Stepping up is Kirsten Dorn. Dorn will get a shot toward the 18. Chazy trying to break through the wall of the Willsboro defense, and it's knocked away, and coming off her line is Courtney Blanchard. And she'll work her way to the 18 with a nice punt. And stepping up there is Doran. She tries to one-time it up over to one of her players, but it was picked up by number 10, Marcotte. She loses it, and now it is Kempinen pushes it up over to Latchmore. Latchmore, far side, nice speed from the 8th grader. She sends it across, and there's a one-time half volley. And I didn't pick up who got that kickoff over there, that shot off. And it is number 20. So that would have been Hannah Lauren that had a one-timer. So it was the 8th grader to the 8th grader.
And those 8th graders have played like 9th graders.
They're playing...
18 9th graders.
That's right. They're playing above their years, Calvin. But, you know, I mean, here you have the team, Chazy's ranked number 1 in the state. The team that they lost to last year, 1-0 in the finals, Arkport Blue Jays, are ranked number 2. They have a blemish on their record. Chazy doesn't. The other impressive stat, Calvin, is that Chazy has not given up a goal this year, and they're in the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah, I would hope that if they find themselves down 1-0 in a game, that they don't panic.
Well, that is always a concern when they haven't faced that all year long. And, you know, they have just a very strong defensive unit. And you have to get by Kirsten Dorn in the stopper position. And then if you get by her in the sweeper position, you have Megan Reynolds. And then over here you have Latchmore, I think her on the near side. Far sideline is Hack. And then if you get by them, then you have Catherine Took, who's a very good goalie in her own right. And the ball is cleared to the middle of the field. And it is Lapierre getting the ball over to Alexis Bushy. Bushy does a nice job getting by one player, but it's cleared out, and stepping up is number 21, Kinnan Latchmore. She sends it to the 18, and that was a handball just outside the box. And Coach Trombley's calling for Austri Kempinen to take the kick this time. And she is talking to Chelsea Gay. I'm not sure if it'll be a set play or if Kempinen will try to go upper corner into one of either corner of these nets, or this net, I should say. So here it goes. And Kempinen did try to go upper right, and it went too far upper right. And so we are now at the 33-minute mark, and we have some substitutions coming in here for the Warriors. We have number 14, 27, and 32. And that would be Gabby Yeagers, 27. Catherine Bazile is 14. And number 32 is Amanda Mahoney coming in for the Warriors. And the ball is cleared toward midfield. So Chazy has been in Willsboro Warrior territory for at least for the first 7.5 minutes of this game. So they're controlling the midfield, but they have not got the elusive first goal.
The ball did come here about 30 feet into the other half of the field, Joey. Here it's going to come again. Yeah,
well, here we go again. I obviously I can challenge you on that, because you can play back that tape, and I'd say they're probably 15 yards in. Now they're halfway in, and it goes out, so it favors Willsboro, so they'll definitely take it down the sideline. Oh, no, she actually went toward the middle, and she tried to get it to number 23, Kylie Swires, and it's cleared back to midfield. And it is the Eagles with the ball on the far sideline. It's Hannah Lauren. Goes all the way over to Emily Lapierre. Lapierre back to Lauren. Lauren has some nice speed. And it is now Caitlin Lapierre trying to get into the box, pushing it over to Chelsea Gay. Chelsea Gay battling for the ball. And it's Chelsea Gay, but number 10 for the Warriors does a nice job. And that was Renee Marcotte clearing it out to the wing. And now it's sent up. And it goes by Dorn, and it is Megan Reynolds, and she sends it right back to the 18, and it's knocked away, and going to the ball is number 14, Chelsea Gay. Chelsea Gay gives it up over to Kempinen. Kempinen gets a shot off, it deflects off a defender, but the goalie Blanchard is there, and she'll work her way to the 18.
Referees, we got Randy Lozier as the referee, and we have two flagmen, Lacey and Stahl, are on the flags.
Yeah, when you get to the playoffs, they bring in more of the heavy hitters for the playoff games.
And semis. Once you get to the semis, you go to the 3 officials.
And then in the finals, is it 4 or 3 still?
17 officials.
17, they bring them all in. And of course, you know, this is big for the officials too, because they get rated, and depending on their rating, depends if they go off to the state championships and the regionals. So, you know, a lot rides on the game for these guys too, and gals.
And who does the rating?
Other officials. So they are rated, And coming out for the Warriors is number 12, Allison Arnold. The ball is in Chazy territory. And Randy Lozier says play on, and it's pushed up to the open space, picked up by Lapierre. Lapierre too far ahead for Alexis Gay, so it'll be a throw in here for Willsboro. And it is number 14 taking the throw in here, and that's Catherine Belzile. And it goes to Lapierre. Lapierre, nice pass up to Lauren. Lauren has some nice speed, and she has the instinct to get to the net. She gets a low shot off far right, and it just goes wide, and it is a goal kick. Lozier said the goalie didn't touch it, and I would agree with that call. And we're now just under 30 minutes. We have no score here, and in playoff action, Calvin, as you know, when the game gets done, somebody's seniors are going home for the season, for their career.
Yep, and you got to have a winner, so we'll keep going until somebody is declared the winner. What was that football game I saw on TV? Something like the 17, 18 overtimes?
Yeah, I think it was a college game. It was kind of crazy, actually. I'm surprised the players could still play after that much time.
The score was in the 80s, I think, for both teams.
Oh yeah, they were. It was a basketball score in the football field. We get Chazy with the throw-in, and it's Alexis Gay trying to find Lauren. Lauren trying to get by the defense, and Lapierre steps up. Lapierre gets the shot off, left-footed, kind of a weak shot, and it goes into the arms of Blanchard. So Blanchard will get the punt off, and it's trying to be controlled by Chelsea Gay, cleared into Chazy territory, and Megan Reynolds. A nice job trapping the ball, and just quickly one times to the far side to Lapierre. Lapierre trying to find somebody to flex off the Willsboro defense, and it goes back to midfield Dorn, and the stopper Dorn gets it over to Kempinen. Kempinen keeps that ball on her feet like it's Velcro, doing a nice job, gets the shot off, and if Chazy keeps shooting, if you look off to the left, Calvin, that box over there is not as dry as this one over here, and any hard shots into that side of the field could be dangerous for a goalie.
You know, the other night, I taped so many games, I can't remember which game it was, but early on in the game there was a weak shot in that direction, and it just died. It normally would have rolled in if it had been a flat, nice hard flat surface. The goalie was out of position and the ball just died there.
Also, I want to give congratulations to the Cougars of Northeastern Clinton on their very impressive win over Beekmantown. They would play Plattsburgh High School for the 5th year in a row for the sectional championship. But I have to tell you, Calvin, that was one of the best performances I've seen from a Cougar team in a long while. They played very, very well that night.
Oh, they had to step up in order to win that one, because Beekmantown's an excellent club, and
they did.
If they expect to stop Plattsburgh's run, they're going to have to step up even bigger next time.
Which will be Friday night. It is supposedly supposed to be here. There is concern about field conditions because there's a shot. Oh, hits the post, and Willsboro just dodges one. Lauren on a nice feed from, actually I think it was Lauren that crossed it. But it was a beautiful header, and it hit the post. So the post was definitely the Warriors' friend on that one. And Chazy is robbed of a goal at the 26-22 mark. But they have outshot the Warriors 6-0. So, you know, it's one of those games, Calvin, where they haven't scored, but you feel comfortable the way things are going right now.
Well, anytime you dominate like this, you feel comfortable, but we've seen games where a team is dominated and all of a sudden the team breaks out and gets a breakaway and scores.
Well, like I was saying before, that header is that the championships may be removed from Chazy here at the George Brendler Field because of the conditions that we're talking about. 85% of the field is in fine shape. It's the other 15% they're concerned about. And tomorrow's supposed to be a nice day. Here's another opportunity, and it is Blanchard doing a nice job. So tomorrow the boys are here against their rival in the semis, the Elizabethtown Lewis Lions, and it's supposed to be a nice day tomorrow, so the field should be fine. But Thursday and Friday calls for rain, and there is definitely some concern with Brian Norcross whether you can have a quality championship game here or not.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to destroy the field that he and Rob worked so hard to keep up all year.
And not only that, not only destroy the field, but you want to be fair to the other players that they have a decent pitch to play on.
Well, the only other place they could go for a neutral site would be to Sable Valley, unless they can suddenly get Plattsburgh State.
Plattsburgh State. Or they well, that's what you don't want to
Otherwise,
go
you're
to Plattsburgh High School.
You're on another dirt field.
Right,
So
right.
either you go to one of those two locations, or you play on a wet field somewhere.
And that very well could happen. So no time will tell on that. We have 24:45 to go here, and the ball was cleared by number 22 on the kick, and that would have been Serene Holland. And it goes out of bounds here right before our eyes here. And we have Kenan Latchmore checking back into the game. And going into the game also is Amber Polomsky, as well as number 5, Alexis Gay. And there's the throw-in, and it's knocked away by the Willsboro defense, number 23, Kylie Squires. And nice hustle by number 32 of Willsboro. And the ball goes out of bounds. And number 32 is Amanda Mahoney. But it'll be a throw-in here for the Warriors. And it's headed by Kempinen. And Lapierre heads it up over to Lauren, Hannah Lauren, working her way. She has Polomsky and trying to get it through to Polomsky, but a nice job defensively by number 22, Serene Holland. And it's the Eagles with the ball, and it's knocked away. And Polomsky hustling back, trying to disrupt the play. And she does. And it is now it is Alexis Gay. Gets it up over to Kempinen. Kempinen over to Lauren. Lauren loses the ball. And nice play by the Warriors. And it's the number 15 with the ball for the Warriors, Megan Jockwish. Sends it into Chazy territory. And Alexis Gay is knocked down. Knocks it out of bounds. And it'll be a throw-in for the Chazy Eagles. We're at the 23-minute mark. We do not have a score yet here in this game. And the ball cleared at midfield, now into Chazy territory. And Gay runs back, and she'll just send it back up over to Kempinen. Kempinen surveying the situation. Now goes all the way back over to Megan Reynolds. And Chazy does a nice job spreading the field. And now over to Dorn. Dorn in the offensive zone here for Chazy. And Lapierre, nice give and go. Alexis Bushy is called for the offsides. And Randy Lozier was right there to make the call. So offsides on Bushy on a nice feed from Caitlin Lapierre. So we have 22:20 to go here in the first half. We still have no score.
I would imagine that the flagman on the sides help with the offsides calls, because the referee is right in the middle of the action.
That's a very good point, and actually we should be looking for that, because I'm pretty sure they do help out with that. And they definitely have the best view.
Yeah.
Because they're even with the play. You know, if you notice, I'm not sure if that's
Lacey on this side.
That Lacey on this side. You can see he's running with the line as it's the ball is going back and forth. And it is Kempinen working her way to the 18, trying to get a shot off here. And she does, and Blanchard goes for a dive and knocks it out of bounds. So a corner kick for Chazy. It'll be their second corner kick. And, they've had 7 shots on net, and there have been 6 saves, so the shots have been at the goalie, but nothing real hard at this point other than that header that hit the goalpost.
Well, sometimes shots are misplayed, even if they're not hard shots. So anytime a keeper makes a save, it's a save.
Yes, it is. Well, here comes the corner kick. And it's served at the top of the box. Doran trying to knock it back over to Polomsky. It's knocked away, and Latchmore sends it back to the box over to Doran. Doran sends it into the box, but it's cleared out. Running back is Latchmore. She one-times it back over to Reynolds. Reynolds serves it up, and it is headed by Kempinen, and it's picked up by Lauren. Lauren working away in the box, gets the shot off, and it goes wide right, and it looks like we have a corner kick. It was definitely a deflection. And Lozier says, no, not yet. It's a corner kick for Chazy. No red can come in at this point. So we're basically about halfway through. We're 20 minutes and 25 seconds here left in the first half. We still have no score. Territorial. It's been dominated by Chazy, and the shot clock, or on the shots on net, are 8-0 favoring Chazy, and the corner kicks are now 3-0. So you have to wonder if it's just a matter of time before Chazy finds the back of that net. And there it's crossed. And they're trying to get a shot off, and it's cleared out by the defense. So the Willsboro defense is bending, but they are not breaking. And on a 0-0 game, I'm sure Coach Marcotte is very pleased with what he's seeing so far as what's on the scoreboard, or lack of what's on the scoreboard for the Chazy Eagles. And the ball is cleared up, and it's trapped by Latchmore. Latchmore sends it back over to Bushy. Bushy has it knocked away, and it's cleared out by number 14, Belzile, and it's cleared back by Doran onto the foot of Lapeer. And Lapeer with the ball has it knocked away, going over to Chelsea Gay. And Chelsea Gay, looking to load up, does a nice job faking one player out, trying to find Lapeer, and it will be just cleared out. And it is Doran, pushes it up over to Latchmore. Latchmore sending up over to Kempinen. Kempinen with the head and trying to trap the ball just outside the box. And it's Kempinen still hustling for that ball. And it would be a push on Kempinen. So we have a kick here for Willsboro with 18:57 to go in the first half. Loser of this game, they go home, and for the seniors, their career will be over. For what team that will be, we do not know yet, because we still have a lot of soccer left, Galvin.
Well, if Joe Pusson were here, he'd be calling the game as over right now because the Eagles have dominated.
Oh, yeah. He has a history of doing that. And I was talking to Brian Norcross coming up, and he said, I guess the Willsboro game was on the Access Channel. There's a shot. The boys' game was, and I guess we were dumping on Joe pretty good about the Mickey fries, and he said the camera was shaking as Joe was coming up the stairs. And so, we pick on him when he's not here.
That's right.
Well, we do when he is here, too, actually.
but more so when he's not.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, you think he would have shown up.
Yeah, I would think so.
This is playoff soccer, right?
But it's cold, too.
Well, yeah. Yeah, and there's a shot by Doran. So that's number 9, number 10. 10 shots on net, 8 saves by the goalie. That means only 2 shots have gone stray of the net, so Chazy has been dead on with their shots. But Blanchard has been up to the task here so far in the first half, and it pushes back over to Reynolds, and Chazy will spread the field. Nice job by Reynolds, getting by one player. Now she's into the offensive zone, gives it up to Kempinen. Kempinen lets it run through her, and it's cleared out. And it is Bushy trying to find Kempinen back, and now it's cleared out by the defense. And it seems like Willsboro is just content to boot the ball out of there, but Chazy regains control. And there's a push through, and it's Kempinen trying to get through. Kempinen gets there, and there it is. What a nice play by Gay to Kempinen, and Kempinen stood her ground as the goalie came out, didn't panic, and found the lower side, left side. So Chazy goes up 1-0 at the 17-13 minute mark left here in the first half. And Willsboro will take the kickoff here after the Chazy goal. And it's just kicked into Chazy territory. And Latchmore just gives it back over to Lapeer. Lapeer trying to find Bushy, and it's cleared out by number 14 of Willsboro, Belzile. And now it's Kempinen who just got the goal. Again, she's the MVP of the league. Gets the first goal of the game, so it's not surprising. And Chelsea Gay, who just got the assist, battling for the ball. And now it's chipped up into the box. And the Willsboro trying to clear it out, and it was Kempinen going in there. And now it's Alexis Bushy trying to get a shot off, trying to bend it, and she bends it wide of the net. So it will be a goal kick here for Willsboro as we approach 16 minutes and 29 seconds here left in the first half. Chazy with a 1-0 lead. And there's a nice booming kick by Buck. And it's cleared into Chazy territory, but there's Reynolds. Surveys the situation, gets it up over to Bushy. Bushy one times it up over to Latchmore. So nice ball movement here by the Eagles. And too hard of a kick by Kinnan Latchmore. She was just trying to push it in front of Austria Kempening, and it was a little too far ahead of her. So it will be Blanchard with the punt here. She punts near sideline, and it's kneed by number 14, Belzile. And it goes into Chazy territory, and Latchmore just pushes it back over to Reynolds. Reynolds comes right back to the center to Chelsea Gay. Chelsea Gay with the ball. And she has Lapierre in front of her, but Chelsea Gay will take it herself. Gay pushes it up now to Kempening. Kempening trying to split the seams. She does. Kempening gets the shot off, and what a shot by Kempening. And Chazy goes up 2-0 at 15:20. So 2 minutes later, it is Kempening, and on that goal, the post was not the friend of Blanchard.
No, she's caught the inside of the post, and that was that. This will be a different game from here on in with Chazy having the 2-goal lead. Either Willsboro will completely play defense, or they'll have to try to get them on a little offense.
Well, that is again, Chelsea Gay with the second assist. So we have a Chelsea Gay Austria Kempening show going on here in the first half as Chazy goes up 2-0. And Chazy definitely wants a date in the championship game at Plattsburgh High School on Saturday. And they're doing everything they can to make sure they get there. And right now with a 2-0 lead, and not giving up a goal all year, I would say it looks pretty good for them. I won't call it like Joe would, but I like their chances.
So you're not saying it's a shutout just yet?
No, I won't say that, because first off, I don't want to, what's the word there? You don't want to
Jinx them?
Jinx the girls. Yeah, because I can see you just replaying that over and over again. Trombley said.
Yeah.
Because we've been relentless on Poissant.
With his 3-0 lead.
This one's over with. Mark it done. It's over. Put a fork in it. Nails on the coffin. We know whatever else he said that day. Of course, he'll never live that down.
No. Well.
And he's been redeemed. They came back and won the state championship the next year, but we still bust on him.
Yeah. Well, anytime you have a 3-0 lead,
with 20 minutes to go.
It's your game to lose.
Yeah, well. But you go back to that game, you play it 10 times, and that's probably the only time it would have happened.
That's right.
It was just one of those situations.
Yeah, you spot anybody 3 goals with 20 minutes to play, and they should have a good shot.
Yeah. Much less the defending state champions. And I think we got a penalty kick coming up here.
Ozzy!
And Coach Trombley wants Kempening to get her hat trick here in the first half. She's letting Kempening take the kick. So the Willsboro fans aren't happy with that takedown in the penalty box.
Well, they're trailing 2-0, and they hate to see a penalty called. But if you're officiating this game, you've got to send a message that you got to keep playing good soccer and not let things get out of hand, because injuries could occur.
That would be true. And Kempening just drills it lower left. So at 13:55, Austria Kempening, the MVP of the league, gets her 3rd goal, the hat trick. And Chazy goes up 3-0. They have 13 shots on net. And we're back to the kickoff here. Chazy with a 3-0 lead here in the semifinals. The winner of this game moves on to Plattsburgh High School Complex on the 6th of November for the sectional championship game. And if they should get by that, and here's Kempening again. She goes wide right. If they should win this game, and they should win on the 6th, then it's off to Potsdam on the 13th of November. And Calvin, are you going to make that trek out west if the boys or girls make it?
Maybe not.
Maybe not. You heard it here first on Hometown Cable. And it is Bushy, and the ball is cleared deep into Chazy territory. And it is Latchmore hustling back here for the Eagles. And nice play by Latchmore. And gives it up over to Lapierre. Lapierre now working her way into Willsboro territory. She's got some space. And it's Lapeer taking the shot, and it goes right into Blanchard's hands. So she'll work up for the punt here. And nice head toward the center of the field. And I'm trying to see who that is over there. I think that might have been number 6, Christina Emery, on the far sideline. And it looks like Lapeer. That's actually Gay. Now it's on to Chelsea, or Alexis Bushy, I should say. Now here comes Lapeer. And there's a deflection, and Blanchard is there again. So we now have 15 shots on net with 12 minutes here left in the first half. And Calvin, it has been a game definitely dominated by the Eagles.
Well, definitely. The score certainly reflects that now, and we've got a lot of game to play. That's the unfortunate part, I guess.
Well, if you're up here in the cold filming it, yeah, I would say. But the girls really have not been challenged this year. And, not giving up any goals. I think it's probably...
Were they able to play many non-league games against bigger schools?
Yeah, they played, they beat Malone 3-0 here. They beat Voorheesville, a Class C school. They shut them out. Well, they shut everybody out. So she's tried to play some other bigger schools, and they've had success. So, I think it's a combination of the girls are good, and there's maybe a chance the league could be a little off this year, and that probably plays a part in it. Just not to give up any goals. I mean, that's just like unheard of.
Yeah, Malone. I don't know particularly how Malone did this year, but usually they're
a B school.
They're a quality B school.
Right. I didn't see that game, but I heard that the girls definitely dominated that game. So I mean, they're sound, they're disciplined, they're just sound soccer players. They play their position. I mean, we're seeing that here on the camera. They're spread apart. They know what their role is, and they just play it very well.
Yeah, that's it's what's nice about the boys and girls at Chazy is they play their positions. They don't bunch up for the most part. They spread out, and somebody gets a little crowded, they get somebody to pass the ball to.
Right. Well, like right here, you have Alexis Bushy trying to get a shot off. I know she's frustrated with that one, but it goes off the end line. But we have under 10 minutes to go here left in the first half. Chazy with a commanding 3-0 lead. They've outshot the Warriors 16-0. So, if you're a coach like Coach at Marcotte, you're coming into the playing a team that's ranked number 1 in the state. They lost last year in the finals 1-0. How do you prepare your team for this? I mean, do you come in thinking that you do have a shot to win, or
you tell them about David and Goliath, and just hope for the best. So all you can ask the team is to play up to their abilities, and if the other team's better than you, then they're better than you. But at least play up to your abilities and do the best job you can do out there.
And it is a goal kick here for the Warriors. And like I was telling Joe when we were doing the boys game, after every game it will get progressively tougher toward the journey toward a state championship. And they got to get by this one, and the championship game obviously will be a tough one because it's a championship game, and then you go into the regionals and you get to that level, sectional championship game and regionals in the Final Four. Obviously anything can happen.
Yes. And these girls of Chazy have come so close last year in particular, and they'd like to cross that threshold and get that state championship back here.
Well, if it goes true to form, the Arkport Blue Jays, who Chazy lost to 1-0 last year, is ranked number 2. So if that was to happen, that'd be the 4th time they've played at a state level. And Arkport has won both championship games against Chazy 1-0. Chazy, in their only championship season, beat Arkport in the semifinals 3-1. So they played 3 times, each scored 3 goals. I mean, these two teams are like a mirror image of each other. And actually, it's quite fun to watch because you have 2 quality programs out there. Well, you know, Calvin, it is cold tonight. I'm just wondering how the Mickey Fry sales are going tonight.
I don't know. I would think they'd go fairly well, but people usually like hot chocolate more than a hot French fry on a cold night.
And Kempinen just walks in and drills it. So that's goal number 4 for Austri Kempinen with 7:09 to go here in the first half. And so Willsboro takes the kick here. They're trailing 4-0. And it's Gay going off to the near sideline, or far sideline, I should say. And it's cleared back. And Latchimore's there. And she just pushes it up over to Emily Lapierre. And Lapierre, working her way to midfield, sends it all the way over. And it looks like Emery with the ball. Gives it up over to Chelsea Gay. And just a little out of the reach of everybody. But Lapierre gets there. And it goes to Kinnan Latchimore. She just gives it back over to Lapierre. Lapierre feeds it up over to Lauren. Lauren got the assist on that. Actually, Lauren got the assist on the Austri Kempinen goal. And nice footwork by number 23, Kylie Swires, doing a nice job. And Lapierre goes up and knocks it away. And it's Lapierre going through 2 players. And goes to the open field far sideline. And the ball served in toward the net. And Blanchard is there. So we have 5:54 to go in the first half. Chazy have outshot Willsboro 17-0. They're up 4-0 in this semifinal action in sectional playoffs. We are at the George Brendler Field. It is November 2nd, 2010. It's election day. On the camera is the founder of Hometown Cable himself, Calvin Castine, and I think it was 27 years ago was your first, I think I saw on TV, you posted your first event.
Yep, taped on June 7th, shown on June 11th, 1983.
So it's 27 years ago. And I'm Joey Trombley calling the action. We would normally have Joe the Fish Poisson up here, but we're just surmising that it's too cold for him and he didn't want to venture out of...
You might be ice fishing tonight.
Well, you probably can somewhere. It's so we're calling the action here, and it looks like definitely in the second half I see Coach Trombley emptying her bench. You know, and you know, one thing that you can say it's 4-0, but you got to keep your players sharp as you go through the final 5 games of the year.
Oh, definitely. You can't start relaxing now. You got to keep your top team in shape. And you know, if they, assuming they get to Saturday, then they win on Saturday. It's another week before they play again. So
exactly,
it's tough to stay in shape when you get that kind of a schedule.
And I can't imagine the practices being any fun when it's cool like this. So I think more that they don't work so much on conditioning at that point. They're working on their skill set and their set plays and how to spread the field and their positioning and stuff at this stage of the game. I would think that's how the practices would go.
Yeah, and they've got to be outdoors, getting used to the weather too.
Yeah. Oh, and they are. There's no doubt about it. But today is the 2nd, and the Final Fours are on the 20th. So basically, less than 3 weeks. The soccer season as a whole comes to an end, I mean, across the state. So you have basically 18 days left of the soccer season. And here's a chance for Willsboro. And they might, oh, what a play by Took. And I thought they were giving up their first goal of the year, Calvin. And a nice offensive rush by the Warriors. And a nice job by Catherine Took. And it looks like it was number 3. I'm trying to get her number there. And we've talked about this before, Calvin, when they don't put it in numerical order, it makes it difficult. And it was actually number 8, and that was Hannah Bruno, who had the opportunity. A nice play by Took.
Yes, daring play. She dove for that one.
Yeah. She's probably happy to be in a play.
It's got to be tough for those goalies to stay sharp when they're not getting any action at all.
Like all season.
Yeah.
But you know, they as it progresses, they are going to play teams that are just as fast and as skilled as them. And it's like you say, if they should give up a goal and fall behind, what will be the character of the team to recover?
Yeah, they haven't given up any, and if they give up with the first goal, it's going to be a very, very different situation for them.
Right. I mean, right now, 4-0 they're playing very relaxed right now. Oh. And Reynolds went down hard, and the ball bounced up and hit her on the chin, too.
Must be getting close to the end here.
Well, just 2 minutes to go. Reynolds a tough one. She stays in, and I call her the dominator back there because she does dominate as the sweeper. And it'll be weird next year, Calvin. Kempton won't be running these the fields of George Brendler Field, and she's been there, it seems like forever. I think since an 8th grader.
Yeah, she's been here a while.
So it would be it will seem weird not seeing her out there. But well, one point I want to bring up, and I just thought of this. This is their last game of the year at the George Brendler Field.
This is it.
This is it. From here,
The boys will be done.
the boys will be tomorrow, and then they're done. This off to sectional play and regional play, and so basically for the senior girls, this is their last official home game here at the George Brendler Field, and we're talking about Emily Lapierre. She's a senior. Chelsea Gay is a senior. Alexis Bushy's a senior. Jessica Lauren's a senior, and Austri Kempen. And so they have 5 seniors. This is their final game on the George Brendler Field, and as far as their high school career is concerned. And it is a punt here by Courtney Blanchard. We have 30 seconds here left in the first half, and it was a first half totally dominated by the Eagles with a 4-0 lead for Austri Kempen in goals, 18 shots on net. And it'll be interesting to see what they give for intermission, 5 or 10 minutes. I'm thinking coach is going to be looking for 5.
I think both teams will
Both teams probably do. I don't think Coach Marquette wants to keep his team out here any longer than they have to. And the first half is coming to a close. And again, Chazy leading 4-0 here on Election Day, November 2nd, 2010. And we're ready to start the second half. And at halftime, word just came back to us. Elizabethtown Lewis is making it to the championship game. So it's not surprising, Calvin, that Elizabethtown Lewis is back in the championship game. It seems year after year these two teams butt heads, and it looks like it may happen again.
Yeah, unfortunately for us, the boy versions of that will butt heads when I'm going to be at Sable Valley at Clintonville covering the Class C finals. But E-Town, Lewis, and Chazy will butt in the semifinals.
There was a shot by Lauren. She went right at the goalie. She busted right in. I mean, literally, within 30 seconds, Chazy comes roaring down the field. But, you know, Calvin, we did talk about that. The E-Town Chazy game is a semifinal game, and you're doing a championship game.
That's right.
So you got to cover the championship game. And
We don't have to when it involves the Bobcats.
Well, but NAC's there, and,
Right.
and, you know, you cover the northern tier, and NAC would be classified as the northern tier. Very much so, and I am assuming you have supporters from the family of NAC Bobcats.
A few, not the extent that Chazy, but a few, and you know, it's just I have a loyalty to that area, and I plan on being there.
And I think people understand. You know, there's only so much you can do. Of course, you know, Sam is, and of course he has that hip operation coming up. And it's hard for him getting up and down these stairs.
But you can't stand for long periods of time. So.
Yeah, well, that's the other part of it.
Yeah.
And but so there's only so much you can do. But, you know, again, there's a classic case of the value that you bring to the North Country. You know, and while we're talking about that, you know, we have to support hometown cable. I mean, if you want this programming, it just doesn't happen. I know we take it for granted because he's been around for 27 years, but it can't go on forever if he's not supported. And I think what happens, I think there's a complacency with people that maybe would have given 3-4 years ago and just forget how time goes by and don't think about giving again. Not that they don't want to, it never crosses their mind to do that.
Well, more often than not, when I get a contribution in person, and somebody says, I've been meaning to do this. Well, there's people who've been meaning to do it for 27 years and still haven't done it, and those are the people that, someday I'm not going to be able to be here either, and this will fall by the wayside because there's just no money into it to keep it going if people don't support it. So if people don't want to support Calvin Castine, well, they should still support Hometown Cable.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like you say, you are not going to do this forever, and
nobody else is going to step in and do it because they'd be stupid.
Right, if there's no money there,
yeah.
then why would you do it?
Right.
But if you'd like to give to Hometown Cable and you want to mail a check, it's 1477 Ridge Road, Champlain, New York, 12919. Or if you want the action right off, just go to Plattsburgh.com or HometownCableNetwork.com, and within a day you're posting the programs that you've done like the day before, haven't you, or within 2 days?
Usually it's within 24 hours. Usually it's within 12 hours, depending on how many things I've done the day before, because it takes time to copy these onto a DVD, then go through the 3-4 step process to get them up on the internet.
So, but the point being is it's there, so you don't have to just channel surf for the access station. You can go right on the internet and you can get these programs right off, and there is a wonderful archive of shows there. I know every time I talk to you it seems to grow. What are you up to now?
We're about 5,450, somewhere in that vicinity.
That is absolutely amazing. And you're just touching the tip of the iceberg with that, aren't you?
Well, we're approaching the midway point, I think, on what we've got to offer. We've got well over 10,000. I won't know till we get there how many we got.
But the goal is to have everything on there.
Everything on there, and we're also going to be putting up the North Country cable stuff that Foxy and those guys have done over the years, so that'll be up there. And after we get all that stuff up, we'll be looking. There might be parents who have taped games over the years that didn't swear at the refs too much. That we could put some of those up there.
Come on, Calvin. You never hear language when you're taping games.
Well, I just this afternoon I put up for the Thursday-Friday program. I had it running in the background, and thankfully I was nearby when it was running. It was the EFL Empire Football League Championship game, North Stars against Watertown, and this Watertown fella starts swinging, and this very vociferous female, a goal.
Was that Kempinen again? Austri Kempinen again finds the back of the net, hits the inside of that post.
She needs to save some of those.
That is number 5, Calvin, for the MVP of the league, Austri Kempinen.
She needs to save those.
At 34-28.
Those hit the goalpost. You got to save those for crucial games.
23 goals, 4 assists.
And the assist comes from Emily Lapierre. So it was senior to senior. And there's the kickoff. And Calvin, I will pull a Joe Poisson right now. This one is pretty much over with.
Yeah.
We're just not seeing enough on the Willsboro team to think they could even remotely come back with a comeback here.
Yeah, and you just hope that Willsboro doesn't give up entirely, that they keep hustling out there, and that this doesn't become one of those 12 to 16 nothing games.
Well, I think what you're going to see here in about another, my guess is in the next 3 to 8 minutes, that you're going to see some wholesale changes here. And that's Lauren. She finds the back of the net, and they're just making it look way too easy, Calvin.
Yeah. There's a cloud of Mickey Fry
Yes, I can see that coming
hovering over the.
And while we just broke away for a second, it was Caitlin Lapierre getting the assist to Hannah Hannah Lauren. So it's a 6-0 Chazy lead, 21 shots on net. So they are definitely making some good use of their opportunities.
Yes, making the most of them. As I was about to say, I can't remember why I was about to say it, but I was talking about that football game. And,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
This fellow from Watertown started taking swings at a
This is a
North
player.
Star player, yeah. And after the play was over, this very loud female fan from North Star started calling him a piece of poop. And, obviously I got to back up, take that out of there, because I'm sure some of that stuff slips by now and then, but I don't ever knowingly put that kind of language on hometown cable. And, you just got to, particularly at the men's games lately, softball, I got to.
Is it worse than normal?
Oh, yes.
On the men's?
The fans.
Oh, the fans are.
Fans.
Not so much the players.
No.
Like I said, going back, I don't think we were that bad back then.
No. Back, the fans might use the Lord's name in vain back then. Now it's all real vulgar stuff that I don't even tell you what the first letter is anymore, that they use just in constant conversation. I mean, if two people are talking, they're not hollering at anybody, they're just talking about the weather and it's
every third
blank
word.
this and blank that, and and they're all within earshot of me, so it makes it tough to record some of those games, because I got to be paying attention to them while I'm trying to pay attention to what I'm taping.
There's some nice hustle down there, and good defensive play by Dorn, and just takes it away. And we're getting the throw in here, and it's number 11 for the Warriors, and that's Bridget Morin. And it's knocked out, and Chazy will take the throw in. So it is the 2nd of November, election night, 2010, at the George Brendler Field, and that haze of Mickey Fry smoke, I don't know if it was a new, oh, here we go. I don't know if it was a new batch of fries or whatever, but the haze is gone.
Dissipated.
It dissipated for sure. So that leads me to believe that they've caught on. So there's some sales for Mickey Fries taking place over there. And Kempinen over to Gay. Gay turned on the afterburners, and there it is. There she goes. And what a shot by Chelsea Gay. Blanchard did not stand a chance on that one. And when there's no assist, when you look at Kempinen and Chelsea Gay, they're hockey players. They have this nose for the goal, and they know how to finish.
Yeah, kind of like Helen Giroux had, another hockey player.
Yeah.
And I say had because unfortunately she has a foot injury that's prevented her from playing soccer at Plattsburgh State last couple of seasons, but it apparently the way her foot lines up in a skate allows her to play hockey, so she is able to play a little hockey.
Yeah, and I mean, it tells you how athletic Helen Giroux is. She's a two-sport person in college. Not everybody does that.
No, well, she hasn't been playing soccer.
Well, no, but she was when
Right.
her foot was healthy.
Right.
So the Chazy Eagles go up 7-0. And Calvin, we have 29 minutes and 30 seconds. And on a game like this, I guess the time doesn't go fast enough.
No.
Especially when it's mid-30s out.
Yes. Fortunately, there's no wind and no precipitation.
No, we're fortunate in that aspect. But I just remember that tournament that we were here. We were dying up here.
Oh,
Sweat was pouring off us. The
Bugs.
mosquitoes were biting us, and it was soccer season. And there's the ball clear to the 18.
Well, I'm surprised that the average temperature is supposedly in the 50s this time of the year.
I was too, and I
because
heard
it
that.
seems it's always cold when we're doing these games.
Yeah, well, just past history going down to the Final Four, temperatures usually seem to be in the mid-40s. But they're down in Middletown this year, at least for the boys, so you're closer to the city. And I just happened to check the 10-day today just to see what the weather was like down there. And when we're into the low 40s, they're into the low to mid-50s. So there could be like a 10 or 12 degree difference being closer to the city like that.
Is that the boys or girls?
That's the boys. The girls are in Cortland again. So they're playing at Cortland Tompkins Community College, and then they're also playing at Dryden. So, and the Dryden High School, it's almost like looking at Plattsburgh High School complex.
And speaking of community colleges, the Clinton Community basketball season starts tonight. Yeah. And poor Donna Dixon, not poor Donna Dixon.
Is she the coach of the girls basketball too?
She is basketball and soccer coach, and they're going to the nationals in soccer. So I can't say poor Donna. She's got to be thrilled with that. But
her assistant coach must be doing some extra work.
Both of them, yes. They got Mel Defiant in soccer and Allison Vosch in basketball.
Did Vosch play for Plattsburgh State?
Yes.
Okay, I thought I remember that name. We're getting ready for some wholesale changes here. Coach Karen Trombley's got a slew of white jerseys around her. Waiting to get into the game. Excited to get into the game.
Chomping at the bit.
Chomping at the bit to get into the game. And I'm sure the next whistle, that's what will happen. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And she's put more in, but there's no more on the bench. So she's got her bench cleared. And she's trying to figure out where to put them. And what a monster night for Ostry Kempinen and for the whole Chazy team. They've just played great team ball, and there you go again. Oh, and not too often Reynolds has that happen, but she has way too much speed for number 32. She takes it away. And Doran. So, nice effort by Amanda Mahoney. Is that a penalty kick?
No, I don't think so. Not a penalty kick, but a restart just outside the box.
So some pressure here on Took. So that
be a corner.
Oh, it was a corner kick. Okay. So we got a corner kick coming. And here's a nice opportunity for the Warriors. Nice feed in the box. Headed out by Dorn to the corner. And Randy Lozier says play on. And it's a counterattack here by the Eagles. And Lauren's got some nice speed here. And Lauren taken down. And the Willsboro fans say that was 50-50. Two officials were there. I think they made the right call.
Yeah, definitely. Is it going to be subs?
Well, it's a kick, so I don't think you can do that. Yeah, I think on the end ball they would, or the...
Yeah.
Top of the box. Ball's cleared out, and Kirsten Doran does a nice job. And it's Doran walking through the defense here, pushing it through. And good hustle by Doran. And Kempinen controlling it. She keeps the ball right on her foot. Nice playing by Kempinen. Gets another shot off. And I think you'll see the substitutions now. And here they come. And I just checked with Coach Trombley. I asked her how Chazy did. I know they beat Elizabethtown Lewis twice this year. They beat them 2-0 down in Elizabethtown Lewis at the Lions Den. And then here at the George Brendler Field, they beat them 7-0. So it'll be Chazy and Elizabethtown playing for the Section VII championship, and I would definitely say that Chazy's going in as a heavy favorite.
It would appear so. And if the boys make it, they'll also be heavy favorites.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because the other semifinal game is Willsboro against Johnsburg, which will be an interesting matchup. And the Chazy boys handled E-Town here pretty handily here at the George Brendler Field, and then beat them down at the Lions Den. So it will be, well, I was going to say it would be an all E-Town Chazy, but that's right, it won't be because
No.
E-Town and Chazy are playing the semis for the boys.
Who did Chazy girls play for the MVAC? Was it Keene?
Yeah, they played Keene. Wait, no, they played Indian Long Lake, and they beat them 5-0, something like that. That was a team last year in the NBACs. They went down and they went to overtime. They won 3-0, but at the end of overtime, there was no score, and Chazy had outshot them 50-0 or 50-1, something like that. But that goalie played a heck of a game that day. But you know as well as I do, the NVAC is just strictly for bragging rights. It means nothing if you lose. You live for another day. And it's a goal kick here for the Warriors. And Calvin, we do have a fair amount of fans for a cool night tonight.
A fair amount.
Yeah, not bad.
Most people, of course, will rush home after the game and put on Fox News Channel and
Or CNN.
or no, most people. I'm talking about most people. Some will on CNN, but
MSNBC,
well, three people will put on.
NBC.
3 people will put on MSNBC.
NBC, CBS, ABC.
Well, I don't know.
I think what I'll say is I think people will go home to turn on the election to see what's happening.
NBC on the program guide doesn't have election coverage listed.
Oh, wow.
But I think I did hear them last night. I had a rare night when I wasn't recording anything, and I did hear them say that they were going to start their election coverage and be continuous. So I assume they meant their network and not their cable entity. And as far as CBS and ABC, I don't know. Last I heard, they weren't.
Oh, okay. So
It's not a presidential election year, so
okay. Well, then the cable stations will be on.
yes. So once again, I'll say most people will tune in to Fox News, and then others will get some of the other people.
Why do you say that?
Because most people who follow politics follow Fox News. 'Cause that's where you get the unbiased, no bloviating coverage.
No bloviating. Well, you sound like what's not. Now you do know people. There are people out there who say, "Oh, come on, unfair and biased. Come on, unbalanced." They're gonna say, "Come on." They're
Well,
right
let me
and-
tell you, there are some people like Sean Hannity who is so far right that he's constantly spinning around in circles. But
Beck.
Beck,
Okay.
Beck can be a joke sometimes. I watch Beck, but
I mean,
sometimes
they go overboard.
Sometimes
they go
I
overboard.
turn it.
Yeah, I'm the same, but they go overboard.
Yeah, Hannity I watch a little bit, but O'Reilly I think it gets a balanced opinion out there.
I think he truly tries.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that give and go.
Oh, nice try.
It was a short goal kick, and the reserves for Chazy here are totally dominating the Warriors here. And as I say that, they go into Chazy territory. And it is cleared right back into Warrior territory, and it's Cooper. She's taken down. So, Calvin, we have 17 minutes and 30 seconds, so the clock is working the right way.
What's that score?
It is 7-0. Shots on net 26. They had 26-0, so they didn't give that a shot to Kempen or to Took.
Grabbed it quite a ways away from the net. It might be, I don't know if they call it to me it would have gone in if she hadn't been there, so it's at least a save, whether it's a shot or not, it's a save.
Yeah, I'd have the board showing at least one.
Yeah.
And that could have been a hand. He just took her right down, and poor Miranda Osher, she hit the turf there. Of course, the fans over there kind of like that on the other side.
Well, fans like that should examine themselves, and seeing somebody upended to me is never something to cheer about.
No, I'm from the same boat. It's there was actually a game which was just blew my mind. It was we're in Crown Point, modified game, mind you, and it was a decent, fairly warm night. There's people in the was lawn chairs out, and literally the parents were talking smack to our girls. It was just amazing to watch this. You're going, you gotta be kidding. We had one of our girls go down and saying, "You aren't hurt, get up," and it was just. You sat there and you're going, you got to be kidding me. We're talking a modified, in any soccer game, but it was a modified soccer game. And the parents were just brutal to 7th and 8th grade girls. And I'm going, I've been to many games, and I've never seen the Chazy fans on a modified level do that to another team, or a JV level, or even the varsity level. You wouldn't say that to another player.
I can recall a 5th and 6th grade game where a dominant player was injured, and one of the parents on the other side was kind of cheering that that kid was out of the game. This is 5th and 6th grade boys basketball.
Go figure. I don't know if some of these parents are trying to relive their youth through their kids, for their lack of athletic ability, or what. I don't know.
Well, this parent, I'm pretty sure, never had much athletic ability.
And maybe, hopefully somebody's watching this will go, oh, geez, maybe they're talking about us. And then they'll,
Yeah.
and maybe it will resonate with them.
No, they'll say, those no good son
yeah.
of a guns.
I won't send Calvin any money.
Yeah, what do they know about it?
Yeah. As we have 14 minutes and 18 seconds left, it's 7-0 favoring the Eagles, and they will move on to the championship game facing their rival, the Elizabethtown Lewis girls, this year at the Plattsburgh High School complex on Saturday at 5 o'clock. That's the time as of right now. And the lot will be riding on that game, Calvin. Of course, the winner moves on to sectional play with the idea of trying to make it to the state championship. And nice play by number 13. I know I haven't said that was Taylor Crowning show. I haven't said a lot of the Willsboro players' names. Well, there's a reason for that. Well, a couple of reasons. They haven't had the ball much, but when I get a roster that it's all mixed up with numbers, it makes it very difficult to try to keep the flow of the game going.
Well, it's not numerical order. It's very, very tough to find.
Yeah, because you're trying to do it in a split second as as there's touches taking place.
Of course, Joe Poisson would have memorized them all by now, but
Yeah.
that's another story.
Yeah, well, but he's got the gift,
That's true. It is a gift.
and he obviously knows that because he picks and chooses the games he wants to come to. And then when he comes up, we're supposed to kind of bow when he comes through the door that Joe's here, and we're happy you're here, and we couldn't do it without you, that type of stuff. But you know what? He never He never really brought us. I think maybe one time Mrs. Poisson's cookies up
I
here.
brought those up here.
And you brought
It
them.
was brownies.
Okay.
And then he complained that they weren't cookies, so we never got brownies again.
Yeah, you know, and then I think there have been other gift bags for us, but somehow they never find them our way. And, you know, not quite sure what he's thinking at times. Well, look at this. Cooper's got some good speed. She has got some blistering speed. Oh, yeah, they're going to give her a penalty kick. No, they called it on Cooper. That could have happened, too. She wanted it.
Yeah.
She went at it hard.
Yeah.
I'm thinking he's going to call a penalty kick at 7-0.
Yeah. I would hope not.
Well, he didn't.
No. Unless it's something flagrant.
Oh, yeah, I would think so. You know, Kempton had a 10-point night with 5 goals. That is some careers for some
Oh,
players.
certainly. That's certainly a season for a lot of people.
Yeah, she did it like in the first half. Wow, 4 in the first half. And she got one in the second half. I got to admit, it is a fun brand of soccer to watch.
It is, you know, and I would hope that young kids would watch these Chazy games and they can see how the game is supposed to look.
Right. You know, you have Karen Trombley, her 3rd year at the helm here, and has had success. Now, granted, she was given a good program when she got here, but she has maintained it.
Yeah. Joe Dumoulin had an excellent program going here. You know, constantly in the state playoffs, and she just picked up where he left off, and has certainly had an outstanding run here so far.
Yeah, when you look at the last 2 years, her season ended in overtime, 2-1 in the semifinals of the state championships, and she lost 1-0 in the state championship game. So, and those were 2 games that could have gone either way.
Yes.
And at that level, they always are.
I know last year when we came here on another cold night to welcome the teams back to Chazy, the girls looked like they didn't really want to be out on that field because they had lost. But, you know, it may not have sunk in yet, but 10 years from now they will realize that every other kid in the Class Ds would have loved to trade places with them.
Not only that, I mean, unfortunately the girls were disappointed they lost that day, but I guess it's kind of a bad thing. Boys and girls, if they don't win a state championship, they think they've had a bad season.
Yeah, I know.
And I mean, that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, to go to the state championship and lose 1-0, and you both hit the goalpost, but theirs goes in and yours doesn't. You know, they were just meant to win that day, and you know, it wasn't obviously a bad season to make it to that point. But when the official goes up to Coach Trombley and says, "You just didn't get the break today. You played well enough to win," you know, the girls should take some heart to that.
Sure.
You know, and actually, I was talking to Galen last night, and we were talking, you know, the last 6 years, the Chazy boys have 4 state championships, and the years that they lost, they got upset by E-Town Lewis at Plattsburgh High School. You were probably taping that game that night, and then they lost that game. They had 3-0 lead with 20 minutes to go. So
The Joe Poisson game, it's known as.
Yeah. The game that he said that was over
Right.
with. Yeah. We'll remind folks of that game.
Poisson Jinx.
Oh yeah, the Poisson and Jenks. There's no doubt about it. But you know, you look at those 2 losses. That team really could have been 6 in a row.
Sure.
But it just shows you how tough it is to win. You know, you can have a good team, good skill, but it's not easy to go up there and win those championships.
No, you got to have some breaks too. I mean, it's skill and it's getting opportunities and luck, you know, here and there.
It all ties in together. And the throw-in comes in. So this game is winding down. We have 7 minutes and 31 seconds, and if you probably noticed, we haven't talked a lot of soccer. It kind of happens when we're up here and the games are one-sided. But 7-0 Chazy. They've outshot them 28-1, so they have a shot on net here.
I know you're a big soccer fan, Joey, but this is one night where I'm glad there's no doubleheader.
I'm with you. Now, I know Friday night you have a doubleheader coming up with the Class Bs. We have an interesting matchup, actually, with Plattsburgh High School and the girls. I'm talking now Plattsburgh High School in Peru, when you have two Chazy alumni coaches going head-to-head in Matt Devins and Tim Mulligan.
It seems like half of the officials in the area are from Northern Adirondack, and half the coaches are from Chazy.
It does seem that way. And then, of course, you got the boys' championship game, Plattsburgh High School against Northeastern Clinton. And that game is always a wonderful game to watch in the finals. And it always seems to be a one-goal game, which Plattsburgh has enjoyed the advantage over the last 4 years. So maybe this is the year of the Cougar.
It could happen. I would say this is probably the year that Plattsburgh has been more dominant than in years past. I think the Cougars have been closer to them talent-wise in the last 4 seasons than they have this year, but they're there.
Yeah.
And anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
And they certainly played up to their top skills when they got to Beekmantown, so anything can happen.
Well, Joe Southwick called that game that night, but it was one of those games where Northeastern just didn't play that north and south game of just setting it up and just running hard at it. They did a lot of nice passes. They did utilize that a few times when their opportunity arose, but I just thought it was just a well-played game by the Cougars, and it was probably the best game I've seen them play in a while.
Yeah. And they needed that to get by Beekmantown, because
Beekmantown's
Beekmantown's an excellent team.
And you've said this before, when you have 3 teams that are relatively even talent-wise, it's tough to beat somebody 3 times in 1 year, and that night was just a classic example that Beekmantown had during the regular season, but when it mattered come playoff time, the Cougars got the advantage.
Yeah, the first time they played, it was overtime victory for Beekmantown, and I think Beekmantown had an easier time the second time around, and third time was the Cougars' turn.
Well, it'll be interesting to see where that game is played Friday. As we're talking, we think they'll move it from here, and there's probably a good chance it will be down at Ausable Valley. And if that's the case, then I'll just make a trek down there, Calvin, and we'll do the game there at the Patriot Field.
Yeah, well, if it's raining out and it's not at Ausable Valley, there aren't that many booths around, so...
Yeah. Well, Ausable has a booth, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Plattsburgh has the place to record from, because they got heat and big windows.
I know that all too well. They have heat, and heat is real nice in mid-November.
Heat is a wonderful thing. That was one of the major inventions of the caveman, heat.
Yeah. I've been grateful ever since.
Yes. More important than the wheel.
Absolutely. Well, Calvin, we're down to 3:40 to go here left in the game. And good hustle by number 25 for the Warriors. And that was Morgan Jockweish. So not giving up. And she worked hard. And we got a goal kick here.
Just wanted to touch the ball. Took said, here, I'll toss it. I want to touch it.
And Catherine Took is 3 minutes and 7 seconds away from adding yet another shutout to her resume this year and the Chazy defense. And we don't want to just give all the credit to Catherine Took. You gotta give it to that defense.
That hasn't allowed a shot.
Well, they allowed one.
Sort of. The ball was in the box, and it wasn't flying at the goal. I could have picked that one up.
It wasn't a hard chance.
Take it out of bounds, please.
to get her into the game.
Man down, Rose.
No move.
Yeah, there is.
No, not the tape on it. There's room in there for the scorekeeper.
We're talking. We're on the air. What we're talking about is what they move the championship, the Class B championships. We're talking to Rob McAuliffe, and he said the possibilities are Osable Valley or Plattsburgh State. Calvin's rooting for the booth in Osable Valley. Do they have heat there too?
Nope. They got windows.
They got windows, and there's no wind hitting us.
Yep.
Okay. It's better than nothing.
Darn right.
I mean, we got a booth up here, but we don't have windows.
No.
I still think they should put plexiglass up here and a monitor heater up here, Calvin.
Or one of those sun heaters.
Sun heaters, yeah,
Barcomb's
from Barcomb's TV. Yeah, they're a good sponsor of Hometown
That's
Cable.
right.
Sun heat from Barcomb's TV, and wouldn't be much electricity here. Well, let's see if I know anybody on the school board.
Well, we
that
wouldn't
can
have to
work on
run
that.
it. We'd probably start it up the night before the game.
Oh, yeah. Make it really nice and toasty here. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so we come in nice comfort.
Oh, yeah. Maybe they have some Mickey fries waiting for us, and maybe a couple burgers.
Yeah. Let's work on that. If I knew somebody on the school board, I'd try to get them to work on that.
Well, if I knew they were worth their weight on the school board, I would. But, you know. I'm thinking, Calvin, it's going to be the same thing next year. Actually, I don't know. Would plexiglass work okay here?
It'd be tough for the corners because if that'd be a situation where we can open the windows up
Yeah, yeah.
because they're close to the field here and it's tough to get the corners.
Yeah, it is. Well, we got 20 seconds left in the game here, and the Warriors' season will come to an end. And actually, they have 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, they only have 4 seniors. The goalie is a senior. Megan Jacquish is a senior. Courtney Blanchard a senior. Megan Jacquish and Erica Oliver are seniors for Elizabethtown. So their high school careers come to an end. And Chazy will move on to the next round as they beat Willsboro 7-0. And I'm Joey Trombley calling the game. Calvin Castine on the camera. It is election night, November 2nd, 2010. And as Calvin likes to say, that's the way it was in beautiful downtown Chazy.